Hi friends, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you immensely. Let's get started and look at 8 steps that I am suggesting that you follow if you want to have success at DIYing your curtains for your windows. Steps that will ensure that you have a successful project. You end up with lovely curtains, well-fitted curtains when you are done. Number 1, the first thing I need you to do is decide on the location of your curtains. Where will they start and stop? Start and stop. How wide they will be and how long they will be. After you have made that decision, you are then, number 2, going to decide on the type of curtain that you will be making. Basically the heading of the curtain, right? Whether it is hidden tab or tied tab or regular exposed tabs, pinch pleat, tunnel or rod pocket. Decide on that first. And the reason why I suggest that you decide on that is because it is important in order to choose the correct not only type of rod but size of rod. If you're doing a tunnel top, then maybe your rod is not as important because it will be hidden. But if you're doing like a pinch pleat or maybe a tab curtain where your rod will be exposed, it's important. Pinch pleat, you can use various rods, right? And so that is why it's important to decide on the type of curtains that you will be making, and then go ahead, number 3, and purchase your curtain rod. Now, before you do anything else, you need to install that curtain rod. You decided already on the location, so you're going to go ahead and install that curtain rod in that space. Now, the reason why I suggest that you install your curtain rod, because it is one of the easiest way to make sure that you are doing the correct thing. Because what you're going to do after you have installed the curtain rod is measure your width and measure your length for your curtains. So you measure from the installed curtain rod, right? Now, after you have measured, you're going to go ahead and use those measurements to do the calculation for how much fabric you will need to make your curtains. I do have a few videos on the channel that shows you how to calculate how much fabric you will need for your curtains, and so I will link those videos for you so you can check them out in order to be able to do your calculations. Now you have done your calculations, the next thing you're going to do is go ahead and purchase your fabric. Not only purchase your fabric, but remember your notions. If you're going to use any type of buttons, or you're going to use well, you will need your thread. So when you buy your fabric, make sure you buy your thread, because there are different threads for different content fabric, right? And so you want to make sure you are buying the right thread to go with your fabric. Not only that, but when you're choosing your fabric, consider the type of window treatment that you're making, because your fabric will be determined by the type of window treatments. If you're for example making pinch pleat, or you're making like a hidden tab curtain, you may not want to go with something like a voile, a sheer curtain, because sheer is very light. And if you're going to go with anything that's lightweight, you will have to buy some type of interfacing to go in the heading of the curtain, just so that your curtain is not drooping in the end when you're finished your project, right? Because yeah, we use pinch pleats for voile, or sorry, sheer curtains a lot for pinch pleats, but it's usually lined, right? There's usually an interlining there to stiffen the head so that it will come out just fine. Also, in choosing your fabric, consider your design that you have in your home, whether it is a traditional design, a farmhouse, country design, contemporary, because that will dictate your fabric. You will not be going out to buy a heavy floral fabric for a contemporary space, right? So consider that. Even if the fabric's on sale, consider your design style in your home before you purchase that fabric. Also, consider what you need your curtain to do. Do you need it, for example, for thermal, for heating and cooling? Do you need it for privacy? Is it in your front window? Is it in a window that faces north or east? All those things you will have to consider in purchasing your fabric. Right now, you have your fabric and you have your notions and your embellishments. You're going to take them home and you're going to get busy. And number 6, start cutting your panels. The one thing you want to be sure to do is, when you're cutting your panels, make sure you're using the same measurements that you used to calculate how much fabric you would need, because you don't want to measure for an apron length curtain and then you decide, oh, I'm going to go all the way to the floor. No, it's not going to work, because you're going to run short on fabric, right? So you have to use the same measurements that you use for calculations to do the cutting for the panels. Also, before you do any stitching, make sure that you are pressing out, ironing out all those creases in the fabric, because creases in your fabrics can throw your project off. You can throw your measurement off, right? And when you're doing your side hems, your double fold side hems, top hems, bottom hems, press in those hems to make sure they stay in place before you stitch. That will ensure that you get a good stitch on your curtain panel, right? And so yeah, that's number 6. Number 7, you are done. Your rod is already installed, so you're gonna go ahead and install those curtain panels on your rods. And if you followed all the steps, your curtain should fit nicely on those curtain rods, right? One thing you want to do, if you're doing like a ruffled top curtain, remember when you measure your from the rod, you will have to make sure you add the additional inches for the ruffles that you need to be above the rod. Okay, and you've installed your curtains. Now you may want to train your curtain. Now, what does it mean to train your curtain? You basically put the folds or the pleats together and you put something around them, like in 3 different areas, top, middle, bottom, just to help to form those pleats. I do have a video for it. I'm sure I have a video for it. So I will look for that video and I will link it for you so you can see just what I'm talking about. So when you're done training your curtains, well, you can train your curtains during the daytime when you pull them apart, right? You don't have to train them at night, because you're going to want to close your curtains at night, especially if you want privacy, right? So you train your curtains during the daytime when you pull them apart. And then what's left is just to enjoy your curtains. Now, I hope these steps are useful to you. They are very important steps, especially if you're a beginner, just to avoid making any mistakes or missteps. Thank you so much for watching the video, guys. Thank you so much for liking the videos and sharing the videos. Please, if you have not yet subscribed, do me a favor and hit that subscription button. Thank you so much for subscribing. You all take care now. I will see you in the next video. Yeah, don't forget, leave your comments below. Let me know what you think, guys. I crave your comments. Ciao.